Hey guys, this is Back to School Reactions, and this is Tom MacDonald, Whiteboy. I just did Adam Calhoun, Racism. Um, that was quite a long reaction to a very short video. I'm going to try and keep this under half an hour. I don't know if this is going to be nearly as deep as the racism one was, but a song called Whiteboy I'm sure is going to have some racial tones to it. This is my first time listening to Tom MacDonald. Don't know anything about the guy other than I was referred to him to listen to him, so we'll see. If the content is good, I'll probably like it. If it's all computer generated auto-tune crap, I probably won't like it. But I agreed that I would put the video up even if I don't like it. By the way, there's been some people requesting some songs from artists that I already know. So just if you don't see my reaction come up to something that you requested, it's because I already did it. I already have listened to them before. Sometimes what it was I listened to another reactor watching them as I was learning about reaction channels. So, for instance, I'm going to do a song from Upchurch, the ISIS remix. And before people say, go react to the Joyner Lucas Logic song, I already saw it. I saw the reaction. I saw the Homicide reaction with Eminem. I know how good Logic is. Of course I know how good Eminem is. Joyner Lucas, he's newer to me, but I dug it. Watched actually a couple of his songs. If you want me to, you're all excited, I would do the ICE when you go. You should check it through. I've seen it. So that being said, this is Back to School Reactions. We're taking music to school. We're going to see whether it passes or fails. Is there good music today? That's what we're trying to find out. So, with that being said, let's jump into Tom MacDonald, Whiteboy. Okay, he must be in class.
I cannot feel guilty for that I didn't do, but I can understand the reasons why you think that I should. Yeah, I'm white, but I never put your neck in no noose, and I never burnt a cross or hid my face with a hood.
Whoa. Okay.
Can't just label me.
I'm sorry, guys. Let me see something here. Oh my god. 7 million views on this? 160k like, 32k dislike. And I can already see why people would dislike this, but they probably weren't understanding the message. So let's see what this is.
I cannot feel guilty for that I didn't do, but I can understand the reasons why you think that I should. Yeah, I'm white, but I never put your neck in no noose, and I never burnt a cross or hid my face with a hood. You can't just label me racist, cause I'm related to people who did some terrible way back before I was alive. My parents brought me up to treat.
Oh my god. He said it. He said it. You can't classify us all as that when we weren't even alive when that was going on. You can't judge every white person as a slave owner. They're not. And even if you look at our ancestry, not everybody in the country was a slave owner. So when you judge an entire group of people based on their skin color, it's no different than the white people doing that with others. It's just not. Not everybody is bad. Not everybody is good. Go figure it out, people. Go find people. Introduce yourself. Start a conversation. Spark up friendships. You know, the reason why friendships are so bad is because of this right here. See that? See that damn thing right there? What is that? See, it's got an Apple logo on it. You know what this is, right? That's why people don't have friends anymore. We have friends that we've never met. They're all on Facebook. You ever go to the movies with them? You ever watch the Super Bowl together? You ever go out and go hiking or dirt bike riding or anything?
Everyone is an equal. I refuse to feel ashamed because of my pretty blue eyes.
Okay, hang on.
And Nazi, white supremacy, way back before I was alive. My parents brought me up to treat everyone as an equal. I refuse to feel ashamed because of my pretty blue eyes.
Most people are brought up to treat people with respect. I don't know about now. I don't know about now. I don't know about now. But I was brought up that you treat everybody with respect. If they disrespect you, if they're rude, if they're obnoxious, you don't have to hang out with them. But you don't just treat people badly, especially if you don't even know them.
And Nazi, white supremacist. Anyone who labels me as that because of my family genetics. The hatred for Caucasians is so pathetic. Go be proud that you're black, but don't hate me for some credit. I'm not the white devil, neo-Nazi, cop trying to pull the trigger. You can call me what you want, but I'd still never say the white race says.
That was clean. That was clean. You call me what I want, what you want, but I will still never say.
Credit, I'm not the white devil, neo-Nazi, cop trying to pull the trigger. You can call me what you want, but I'd still never say the white race as a whole ain't the enemy. There's racist white people, but we're far from that collectively.
God. That's what I was saying in the racism thing too, in the Adam Calhoun one. Sure, there's some bad people. Doesn't mean that all people of that color are bad. You know, there's a thing that happened in our town where there was an employee of a local store, and I'm not going to say what store it was, but it was a very large store. An employee of a local store was doing some things that were just really not cool, okay? Now, people got upset and wanted to, like, boycott the store. Well, the store isn't bad, it's the employee. So when people understood that and the situation was brought to management's attention and management took care of the problem, I think that they reassigned the guy. I think I've seen him there, but he's not a cashier anymore. He was just saying some stupid things that just didn't need to be said, and were really making weren't helping his employer at all. That's for sure. And people wanted to boycott the whole thing. Well, it wasn't the whole store that was bad. It was just an employee who had an obnoxious mouth and had absolutely no. There's this thing called no couth, right? If you don't know what it is, you're young. It meant that you had no manners, and this kid just didn't. He had like no filter. He just. But you can't target the whole store as bad because one employee. Just like you can't target a whole race as racist just because there was some people who did some racist stuff before. I'm not related to him. I mean, my grandfather was harsh as could be. He was a racist little piece of shit. But I didn't turn out that way. I decided I didn't want to be that way. So before you go, blasting a whole race, figure it out. They're not all bad.
Don't say that, white boy. Oh, you so bad, white boy. You wish you were black, white boy.
Oh, please. That's probably what they think. Because he's rapping. Ooh. Everybody wants to be understood. They do. When you're angry, you want the person you're angry with to understand why you're angry. But it doesn't work if you're angry about if you're angry at somebody about something that they never even did. I remember one time sitting in front of a judge, and this judge, I was not a great kid all the time. I made some mistakes in my life. But they were coming at me with something I didn't even do. So I told the judge, can you at least let me out so I can go do it? Because if I'm going to get in trouble for doing it, I should at least have done it. The judge thought I was crazy, but I was just that frustrated. Like, you're accusing me of something I didn't even do. And this is kind of where he's going with this.
If a black man is sipping on some cognac sitting next to me, I don't assume that every black's favorite drink is Hennessy. I don't dislike Tanisha because her first name isn't Stephanie. Not only is that wrong, it's a waste of energy.
He's saying he's not buying those stereotypes. Just because a black man's sitting next to him drinking cognac, he does not automatically assume that every black's favorite drink is Hennessy. He's saying it's just because he doesn't like this girl, it's not because of her name, it's just she's not his girlfriend. What's the big deal? It's prejudicial world that we live in, where everybody is on edge. It's a dangerous place to be in, man.
Ivory or ebony, 45 or 17, we all bleed the same. Martin Luther King or Kennedy. They're angry, I'm reciting the facts. He's white and he raps. He stole the culture right from the blacks. Okay, he's fire, but we lit the flame. He's siphoning gas. So this corny little hunky man, the whitey is whack. You letting history perpetuate the hatred within, and then you paint me with the brush you painted slave owners with. Yeah.
Oh my God. Seconds.
Whitey is whack. You letting history perpetuate the hatred within, and then you paint me with the brush you painted slave owners with.
You're letting history perpetuate that pain, that hatred. I had a huge issue I had to deal with in my life, which was around my dad. My dad cheated on what would have been my mom, and I was born, and I had this huge hatred towards him. My mom was murdered. What would have been my real mom was murdered. His wife was murdered. A few years later, I didn't know her. I was kept a secret for a while until it came out, and then the grandparents had to deal with it because I didn't want anything to do with him. So I ended up going and being raised by grandparents. That's how Kenny and I we're actually related. We have the same dad, different moms. But I don't recognize my birth mother as being my mother. She had her and my dad were toxic. They were drunks. They were toxic. I wrote them off. They're past. But there was just this whole thing of hatred that I held on to for years. And I realized I wasn't hurting anybody but myself, because my hatred didn't affect him, didn't affect my egg donor. It affected me, and it affected those closest to me, because they were so disappointed in my hatred. It made relationships toxic. It made everything toxic, and I had to go through the process to learn how to let that go, and it wasn't easy. But I got there. And that hatred, when it gets into you, it becomes so dangerous, because it skews your perspective on a lot of things. I mean, I wish now that I had gotten a chance to know my dad, even though I never did. But, you know, we can grow. And I hope that after listening to some of these songs, bloodshed, racism, Whiteboy, I know a bunch of people are mad. A bunch of people will hate it. A bunch of people won't understand it. But I hope that those who spend the time to actually listen to it grow from it. That is the ultimate hope. You know, as an artist, some artists will put stuff out just to piss people off. I think that these artists are putting stuff out because they want the conscious people to listen. So, and this is my first time listening to Tom MacDonald. I don't know who this cat is, but he's good.
Yeah. White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy.
And he had a lot of negative. He had a lot of thumbs down on this. He must have caught hella hate.
A sister, an auntie, an uncle, and a grandma that I picture when you're openly hating. And God willing, one day
Okay, so hear that for a second. He's got all these pictures, all these people that he loves, that he's picturing when you're openly hating him. Have you ever stopped to think about that? That the person that you're hating has feelings just like you. We don't have to be friends with everybody, but we certainly don't need to hate them. You know, had I not held on to the hate as long as I did around my dad, I might have gotten to know him. What ended up happening is I ended up not having parents. I ended up having grandparents that raised me because I was so filled with hate. I couldn't believe that that my dad would cheat on what would have been my mom. At the same time, he was impregnating her with my half-brother. You know, it was a bitter time in my life, but I got over it.
I have a kid of my own. I refuse to let you blindly hate my wife and my baby, so go ahead and hate the races. I pray for their extinction. If you want to hate the white people, just make the distinction between the ones who want the best for everyone regardless and the ones who build the system just to smother you with fiction. Stop before you say it. I know what you've been thinking. How's a straight white male in 2018? You're making me the villain by demonizing my race for things I didn't do and decisions I didn't make.
Right.
No one that I call a friend has ever owned a slave.
Right.
Neither did our dads or our dads' dads. Sakes acknowledging atrocities were wrongly committed is all that I can offer while I'm wrongly convicted.
Acknowledging atrocities is all I can do when I'm being wrongly convicted. Yes, we can acknowledge that happened, but I am not the one who did it. Don't be mad at me. And just understand that while the racist people view you a certain way, that's not me either. I don't view you that way. I don't. I think that you have just as much right to be here, be healthy, be happy, be successful as anybody else. The beauty of America is that we have become a melting pot for different people, for different socioeconomical classes. I mean, where else can people take a communist country, for instance? You think you could go out and say, hey, I got a really great idea. I'm going to open up my own business. It's going to be this kind of a shop, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I hope I'm going to make a lot of money. But my whole goal is I want to employ people in the community and blah, blah, blah. And then you do it, and then you get bigger, and you get bigger, and you bigger, 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 and you're real successful. Do you think you can do that there? Mm-mm. We have it made. We just have to be good to each other. We have to treat each other with respect. We have to understand that person has just as much feelings as you do. And they don't like it when it's squashed on either. Sure, sometimes you might run into a person who's rude and obnoxious. You don't have to hang out with them. But you don't have to fill your heart with hate either.
I would never hate a man for what God gave him in pigments, and I would never plot against him just because he is different. I would never judge a human for the cards he was given, or call him lesser than myself because of the race that he's mixed with. White people that you hate aren't your neighbors or lawyers. They're the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bushes, and Royals. They're the people who monopolized the water and oil and injected your communities with drugs that they spoiled.
And those people aren't just having an effect on black people. They're not. There are people of every race in every economic class. Why is it one person can succeed when another can't? I don't know. But I don't blame it on race. You know, I've been super successful in my life, and I've flopped a bunch of times. Just life, you know. It's not about skin color. It's not about, you know. Think about it this way. Think about your favorite, whether it's a food, whether it's a beverage, whether it's you're like me. I like pot. Okay? I get the bombest pot ever. Does it matter who grew it? Do I base the quality of it based on the color of the skin of the person who grew it? Or does it really even matter? It's just good. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are just good. We just got to get to know them. God. You know, the one thing I pray for is the day that people stop hating each other all over the place. The day that people go back out in the street and say hi. I don't know if we'll get there. I don't think we will in Cali. Cali's unfortunately too far gone. That's why I want out. We'll get there. We'll get out. You know, but everywhere we go, there's going to be problems. The difference with Cali is so far against anything that would bring us together. When was the last time, if you live in Cali, when was the last time you saw the news, your local news, show more good than bad? You know, our local news has a thing on it where they do like animal stories or whatever, or, you know, these little local. It's like 2 minutes at the end, or 90 seconds at the end. There's a lot more good than 90 seconds, folks. You just gotta find it.
Got no patience for Nazis, I think they're better off dead. They're fighting hatred with hatred, making the hate more intense. Yep. I don't want nothing to do with either side of the fence, so don't blindly attack me for wearing braids on my head. Hate the people who believe you put yourselves in the ghetto.
Yep.
Hate the ones who teach their children you ain't because they said so. Hate the
oh my god. Hate the ones that teach their children you ain't because they said so. I'm sure that's the word I'll use. Maybe he said you ain't crap. I don't know. Make the distinction, people.
The ones who think you're all the same and judge you profusely, cause the way that you're portrayed on our news and in movies, being white and being racist aren't the same, man, I promise. No, it's hard to tell the difference if I'm just being honest. I deserve the chance to show you I'm not part of the problem, and you owe it to yourselves. We got so much in common. White boy, don't say that. White boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, be white boy.
I like that I deserve the chance to prove I'm not part of the problem. When was the last time you guys gave somebody a chance? When was the last time you didn't give somebody a chance? We're all guilty of it. We all do it. We all want to grow and not do it. We want to be better people. My challenge through this and my challenge today to you guys is to reflect on this and let's just try and become better people.
White boy, white noise, can't say with my white voice. White boys, white lies. white boy, oh you so bad. White boy, you wish you were black. White boy, dear white boy.
Okay, guys, that was Tom MacDonald, Whiteboy. I don't have too much to add because I've been talking so much through this, and while I was trying not to make an incredibly long video, I failed again. The problem with these thought-provoking songs is that it invites a conversation. I encourage this conversation here, you guys. Share with me your views, your understanding of this. Share with me maybe an experience, not just with me, but with everybody here. Share with me an experience that you've had that where maybe you were judged, or you judged somebody and you found out it wasn't, you were wrong or they were wrong. You know, those stories of how we've walked through it, or those are the most important stories. Not the stories on the news, not the stories that they tell. It's those real stories. So, guys, thank you for being here. I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to try and get some others done. Get these up tonight, you guys. I do want to thank all of you for being part of my journey. Thank you for subscribing. If you like the song, hit the like button. If you like my reaction, hit the like button. If you didn't like my reaction, just tell me what it is I can do better. If you didn't like the song, tell me why. This is an open, we're open here. We're open to discussion. The one thing that we won't be open to is we're not going to be open to a bunch of hate where people are going to bash each other. I'll stop that real fast. We deserve better than that, you guys. Our country is relying on us. Thank you, guys, and God bless America.